we're going to the party tonight. Cops or ghosts, your choice.
I don't want to be a ghost.
Let's be cops.
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Alonzo, Christie. It's late August, and in the same way that Target has a rack of those bathing suits that nobody wanted all summer, that they're desperately trying to get rid of, that's happening at the movies too. Which brings us to Let's Be Cops.
Let's Be Cops. This is a really, really rough week to release a film called Let's Be Cops, given all that is going on in Ferguson. But here we have a comedy. It's a wacky comedy about police abusing their power. Or police, as it were. So Jake Johnson and Damon Wayans Jr. are buddies living in Los Angeles, both flailing at their jobs. They put on police uniforms through a very convoluted series of events and realize, we're kind of badasses now. We can get women and we can push people around and take control. But then they start actually acting like cops, and madcap hilarity is supposed to ensue. Take a look.
People actually think we're cops. Please freeze! Oh, that was awesome. Whoa, what do we have here?
Officers, this is...
Is this for real?
Damn! How far are we planning on taking this?
Where'd you get this thing? eBay, dude.
This is super illegal, right?
This, no.
No?
Wow.
Everybody in the mosh pit. Let's make this club move like we got something to prove. Everybody in the mosh pit.
So there's sort of a funny couple of moments here and there, right?
Sure,
when they're
yeah.
realizing their power. And I hate to compare it to something important like Spider-Man, but it is, but stay with me here. When they're realizing what they can get away with, there's sort of a giddy sense of discovery of, wow, look what I can do.
Right.
And sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's just crass, but then it just gets ridiculous when they actually try to solve a crime.
Yeah, I mean, this falls into that category of, with a cast this great, how bad could it be? Terrible, as it turns out. There are a lot of movies out there where, Dave pointed out in his movies.com review, like there are so many failed comedies with great performers in them, and because great performers can only do so much. There's still the writing to deal with, and the editing, and the directing, and all the little intangibles that go into making a comedy work. And so I think, Johnson, I thought was great in Drinking Buddies. Right. Damon Wayans Jr. from one of my favorite shows ever, Happy Endings. And Keegan-Michael Key and Rob Riggle, and just really funny people in this movie. But boy, this material sucks.
Natasha Leggero. What awaits Natasha Leggero? Every single woman in this thing is like a slutty, scantily clad hanger-on, or like a slutty, crazy person. Natasha Leggero, who's a very, very funny woman, is stuck in this quick cameo playing like this druggy, this lascivious, predatory, druggy weirdo. And there's just straining in pretty much every single moment of this film. And yes, I know asking for character development or substance is stupid in a genre like this. I recognize the futility of that.
Well, and here's the thing, if we were laughing, we wouldn't care.
We wouldn't care,
We wouldn't care. If this movie were consistently funny, if the jokes were landing, we would be way forgiving about all the things that it does wrong. But when you're not laughing, that gives you extra time to sit there and go, that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong.
And you mentioned Keegan-Michael Key. He, I think, has the funniest scene in this whole movie. His weird vibe he brings to it livens up that scene where they're playing a video game and they're trying to teach Damon Wayans Jr. to look and talk like him. Like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, every so often.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's not like I didn't laugh at all ever. It's the kind of thing where every 5 minutes, we're like, and there's a meter somewhere where, like, you've laughed enough times to merit the 90 or whatever minutes that you were in the theater.
Oh no, it's more than
not
that.
Enough.
It's an hour and 50.
Whoa, really?
I went to a matinee of it yesterday morning.
Wow.
20 minutes of trailers plus an hour and 50 minutes of actual film.
Oh man, all right. Well, that explains why it feels so long then.
Because it is. So the director of this is Luke Greenfield.
Yes, who did the singularly bonkers Something Borrowed. Like, if you think you've seen the worst of the Kate Hudson rom-coms, so if you're if you're like pinned under furniture and it's on cable, take a look at it. It's so awful.
It is terrible, but he also did The Girl Next Door, which had some dark comedy in it
which
that I
I've
liked.
never seen. They're about to do a 10th anniversary screening of that, I think, at the New Beverly or something.
Oh, I mean, Timothy Olyphant's pretty good as he's like the porn director.
Yeah, and another Happy Endings grad, Alicia Cuthbert's in that movie.
Oh, is she? So, I mean, this person has done better films and worse films, but
Yeah.
this is just like flat, straining, one note.
Yeah, and it's ugly to look at. The guy
Yes.
who shot it does mostly TV, and he might have been going for like an old, like a retro cop show look, but it just kind of comes off as ugly and just flat and bright. And there's a lot of go nowhere plot threads, like this kid's football team that
He
Jake Johnson
terrorizes.
annoys, and it's a funny premise. On paper, it's a funny premise, and then it just goes nowhere.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you look at these people individually and the chemistry that Damon Wayans and Jake Johnson have together. Like you desperately want better material for them.
Yeah.
And it is not there. So what is your number?
I gave it a 3.8.
Give it a 3. That's very charitable of you. Our number is 3.4. It is at a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. So welcome to August.
Yes.